Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to me. I only put out one episode last week. Sorry to my listeners for that. I just had it's a lot of shit to do last week between getting dogs fixed, and I just didn't have a lot of time to watch movies. So I just put up the one video, but I'm back at her. This week I'll definitely have the 3 videos again. I got a pretty decent stack today, and I'm just going to jump straight into her. The first one I have here, this is from the Scream Factory. This is the Fun House from Scream. 1981, I believe. 1981, right? Yep, 81. It's directed by Tobe Hooper. This was directed by Tobe Hooper. I always want to verify when I say stuff like that because I never... Yeah, directed by Tobe Hooper. I don't want to be wrong. Yeah, the Funhouse. It's just the Blu-ray. I didn't upgrade it to the 4K. It's another one of these cases where, like, the movie looks so good already. I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth to spend that much to upgrade. But I actually really like the Funhouse. This is another one of my top slashers of the 80s. This would be in my top 20 probably for the decade. I really enjoy the build-up in it. The carnival setting is amazing to me. It's just creepy. But the build-up to him, the killer, unleashing or taking his mask off and you seeing his actual face, and it's pretty creepy in itself. It's like he's wearing a second mask, basically. It's pretty cool. There's a weird, creepy scene in this where, what do they call her? Like a girl that, oh man, a medium is jerking off the killer who's wearing a Frankenstein mask at that point, and he can't get off, so he snaps and murders her and shit, and that's where the movie kind of picks up at that point. But I just like all the kills are really solid. I think it has a great ending. I just like the setting, just the carnival music and the carnival feel. I really just enjoy that. If you haven't seen the Funhouse, definitely check this out. I could go on for an hour and just dissect it, but I'm just gonna move through here. Next up, I have... This is another Scream Factory, actually, and this is the remake of Slumber Party Massacre. This came out a couple of years ago. Actually, would have been 4 years ago now, wouldn't it? What year is this? Oh, no, 2021, so 3 years ago. I don't think this comes with anything extra. Nope, just the Blu-ray disc. So, when I first watched this movie, it was before I had seen Slumber Party, the original, or number 2, or any of them. So this was the first Slumber Party Massacre I had seen. And I liked it so much that I immediately went on and I bought the 4K 2-pack of Slumber Party Massacre and Slumber Party Massacre 2, which I'll probably maybe do this week, on an episode this week. And I like the way they reverse everything, because I've seen those 2 movies now. And especially the first one, it's really highlights the girls. And just your typical, slightly male chauvinist type stuff. And the killer has a great big drill that kind of represents his dick, sort of. There's a lot of hidden messaging, I feel like, in the movie. It's not verified, I don't think. But... And this does all that too. But what they do in this is they reverse it in the boys' cabin. It's just a bunch of dudes that are acting like chicks. And I don't know. I found it hilarious. I was actually laughing quite a bit. The killer's voice caught me right off guard. Right in the first like 5 minutes, you hear his voice, and that in itself, I was like, "Yep, this movie's a winner for me." As soon as that happened, but yeah, great kills, great acting, little bit of storyline. It's not like I just thought it was gonna be like just low budget shit, cheese, just not good. So it really shocked me, caught me off guard. Totally recommend picking that one up. Enjoyed it quite a bit. Next up here, this is the Mummy Trilogy on 4K and Blu-ray. This isn't like the collector's edition or nothing. It's not like a big booklet. It's just the actual like standard 4K pack here. Comes with all the movies on Blu-ray and 4K. All three of them. This is obviously the Brendan Fraser trilogy. These movies, I would have been 14. I think the first one came out in 99, right? I would have been like 13, 14 when this first movie came out. So it was right at my prime movie watching, where you start building nostalgia. So I have a lot of nostalgia with the first and second one, not the third. The third was years later. I'll start with the third. It's not good. It's actually kind of shitty, to be honest. Jet Li's awesome. I love him. He's always a pleasure, but it's just, I don't know. It feels like been there, done that at that point. But the first one, to me, is a must-see. I would... okay, I'll say this. I was going to say it's the best Mummy movie ever made, but that's... I don't know. I don't know if I like it more than the original with Karloff. But I will say that it's in my top 5 Mummy movies of all time. But that's a pretty short list. Like other than the Universal, like there isn't a whole lot of Mummy movies, like true Mummy movies. There's zombie movies, but true Mummy movies. But yeah, the first one's, it's mostly an action adventure, like feels Indiana Jones like. If you haven't seen it, I'm pretty sure you've probably seen it, but I just think everybody does a great job. I think this is one of Brendan Fraser, if not his best role of his career. I just like what they do with it, especially if you've seen the original with Karloff, which I'll do in a future episode. I'm going to put together a Universal Monsters episode soon, because I have, like, all of them that they've released on 4K and stuff like that, and then I also have all the rest of them, the movies too, all the sequels and stuff. But, like, the first Mummy movie, it's a must-see. If you don't know what it is, and you haven't seen either the original or this one, they accidentally unearth a mummy, and it has to kill the people that unearthed it to gain its human form back. It's Imhotep. And yeah, it's basically just an action-adventure movie. I love some of the scenes in the final act where they're trapped inside the tomb, and all the, what do you call those bugs? Oh, no. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like the beetles. Scarabs? Yeah, the scarabs. I think that's it, right? Scarab? Yeah, I think so. I think it's scarabs. Or like just eating people and stuff. It's really cool. And then the second one is famous for its end CG being just god-awful with the Scorpion King and The Rock. Pretty sure this is The Rock's film debut as the Scorpion King. And I love the story. I love all the build up. I love all the action set pieces. I love everything about it. And if you can just get past the end cheese with that with the Scorpion King, how bad it looks, if you can just look past that and ignore it, it's actually a really good Mummy movie, especially a sequel. All the characters return in this. Yeah, and then the third one, it's like, whatever. It's worthy of a watch, but it's nothing special. But yeah, if you don't have this Mummy trilogy, probably the best way to have it. You got all three on Blu-ray and all three on 4K. I know there's, like, I was just watching Brendan on Our Life in Horror. He just picked this set up, and his is like a special edition that opens up like a booklet and stuff. So I know there's that edition as well, but I just bought this one because it was cheap. I think this was like $24.95 or something. Like $25 for the three of them on 4K. It's pretty solid. This next one, this is one that just came out in the last 2 weeks, and I was pleasantly surprised with this, actually. It's called Monkey Man. This is, what's his name here? Dev Patel. Hoping I'm saying that right. He wrote, directed, produced, and stars. He's the main guy here in this movie. It's his directorial debut. It's also produced by Jordan Peele. And when I first seen the trailer for it, I really thought that it was just going to be a John Wick clone. I thought that's what it was. Okay, John Wick was popular. Now we're going to get an onslaught of John Wick style movies. And in some ways it is. But the storyline isn't. It's got a totally different storyline. This movie, it's going to need a second watch from me. Because I loved a lot of the lore that they were building and the world building. But, like, I was talking to my friend Joe about it, because he watched it too, and he said the same thing I was thinking, he said to me. And that was that they leave way too much off. Like, you can tell they're going for a sequel. Because they leave a bunch of loose ends at the end. Like, so that you want to know more, basically. Which is fine, but I don't know if the movie did very good. Probably not. But all the music is freaking cool. It's like in East Indian music. I don't know what you call it. It's like, I don't know. I'm not even going to go that route because I don't know what you're allowed to say and what you're not allowed to say. So, but I don't know what the name of the music is. But it's all like that. It's like techno-y, like East Indian music. And it's freaking really well done. It's really cool. I loved it, actually. And the one storyline I didn't like was... well, I shouldn't say I didn't like it. I actually thought it was well done. But I don't want to ruin the movie. It's so hard for me to talk about these without ruining them. I'll give you a tiny sum up. So, he's in a suppressed country. It doesn't give you a country name. It's like just a made-up country because they probably don't want to be sued. But they suppress gays. They suppress transsexuals. It's just a suppressed country. The government has taken over. It's all corrupt. They have done all kinds of evil shit. And he is basically he's almost psychotic. He's just on a revenge thing, but he's not very good. Like, it's not your typical action movie where the good guy just whoops some ass and that's it. In the first half of this movie, he's not good. And something happens, and it almost borderlines on superhero, almost. Like, at a certain point, like, it's really cool. I honestly, it's hard to talk about without ruining the plot, and I don't want to ruin scenes because they're good. Some of the scenes are really well done. But yeah, if you haven't checked this out, and I'm guessing not a lot of people have, this probably flew under the radar, then to totally pick it up. It's worth your time, and especially if you got a good 4K surround sound setup, because the sound quality is phenomenal. I got 3 left for this episode, and they're 3 of my favorite movies of all time. I didn't even rewatch these ones because I've seen them so many times that I don't need to rewatch them, and I've already watched these 4K versions of them multiple times as well since I got them. And the first one here is Child's Play, the original. One of my favorite horror movies of all time. It's so funny because whenever I'm doing, like, I've done some podcasts, comes with your regular 4K here, feature film, Blu-ray feature film, bonus disc, Blu-ray for special features. I've done podcasts with Our Life in Horror once where we did, like, top franchises. I've had lots of top franchises talks, and I never think of Child's Play for some reason, but this is a pretty solid franchise. It's kind of crazy that, like, how much I like them all. But this first one is the most true horror movie in my opinion. Like, it's actually creepy and scary and intense. It's not just a comedy like all the rest of them become. But, like, how long it takes, the build up before you find out, before the mother finds out that Chucky's for real, that entire scene where he comes alive is just phenomenal. This is directed by Tom Holland, right? Yeah, Tom Holland. Just great work in this. I don't need to explain Child's Play. Everybody's seen it. But yeah, if you don't have this 4K, beautiful. Perfect sound and quality. Pick it up. And then, my next one here. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, and this is Gremlins on 4K. Absolute must-have in any collector's collection. This 4K is awesome. This one was directed by Joe Dante. He did the original Piranha, Howling, all kind. Like, Joe Dante's legendary. If you haven't seen Gremlins, you suck and you're a loser. No. Honestly, if you haven't seen Gremlins, it's a must-see. This is, in my opinion, it's almost the perfect movie. This is a 5. Oh, I forgot to score all these. So 5. Monkey Man, I would give probably a 3.5. The Mummy trilogy, the first movie, I would give a 4. The second one, I'd give a 3.5. The third one, I'd probably give it a 2. Slumber Party Massacre, I would give this probably a 3. And Funhouse, I'd give a 3.5. But yeah, Gremlins. Frickin' everything about it. The music is awesome. The Gremlins are awesome. Like, it's just phenomenal work here. Great Christmas movie. I don't need to explain Gremlins. If I need to explain Gremlins, then you shouldn't be watching a channel that talks about movies. Next up here this is one of my favorite movies of all time. And this is The Nightmare Before Christmas. And this 4K is freaking awesome. Especially if you love the picture and music in this movie, because I do. I have seen this movie since I was a kid. at least 50 times, maybe more. Absolutely phenomenal music. I love every single song in the movie that's sung. And I also think it's just a genius storyline, like one of a kind storyline. If you haven't seen it, Jack Skeleton, your main guy here, he's the king. He's the Pumpkin King, king of Halloween, and he's just fed up and he wants something new for a change. So he finds a forest that has all the trees on it that lead to different worlds, and he enters Christmas land and kidnaps Santa Claus, and like it's just phenomenal. I would like, this is a 5 for me, and this is one of my top 50 films ever made. Gremlins might also be in my top 50 of all time. And Child's Play would be in my top 100 of all time. So, just top quality shit here. Honestly, if you don't have any of these, this is a whole episode of 4. Oh no. Good. I did 2 Blu-rays, and all the rest are 4Ks here. But absolute must grabs. Very horror heavy, except for Monkey Man here. Even the Mummy kind of borderlines on horror. So does Gremlins, so does Nightmare Before Christmas, but they're all horror to me. But honestly, buy any of these movies, you will not be disappointed. Must-haves in any collection, all of them. If you don't have Funhouse, the 4K's out, so you could always just grab that. Probably comes with a nice slipcover and stuff too. But yeah, that's it for my episode for today. I've been slacking for the last couple of weeks, and it's not because I'm not watching a lot of movies. Like I did cut back this week because I was really busy, but the biggest reason is because I'm still working on 1996. I'm trying to rank the entire year as a whole, every genre, so every film that came out in 96. And I have officially watched more than 50 that I own. And I still have probably, like, I would love to hit 100, but I don't own 100. I only own about 78, I think, I own. So I'd have to buy 22 movies to hit 100. I don't know if I have that kind of dough, because a lot of the movies that I need, that I don't have from that year, they're either out of print or they've never been released on Blu-ray or 4K, so the only way to get them is on DVD, and so on. So I'd be paying a fortune for some of these. So I'm going to be leaving some out. I want to finish up the year, so I'm going to try to get that done in the next couple of weeks. So not next week, but the beginning of the week after. I'm assuming that's when I'll probably be able to finish it. And I'm going to spread it across the entire week. So however many I have, I'm going to do number whatever to number whatever on my first episode, all the way to like my top 10 for the final episode, where I'll talk more deeply about each one. But pretty solid year so far, 96. I didn't realize how many movies I actually had from the year. It's crazy, because back a few years ago, when I first started collecting, I got obsessed with collecting years. And apparently 96 was one of the years I must have collected a lot from, because I did not think I'd have like fucking 80 movies from the year. And that's all Blu-ray and 4K as well. That doesn't include DVDs. But yeah, I started collecting years and trying to finish them off. And I don't have any years completed where I have every single movie that I would want in my collection from any year. So this is actually fun, because if I do decide to buy those last 20 movies or so, I will have 1996 completed. Like, yes, there's maybe a couple rare gems or something, but you can't buy them. So I would have the year completed based on what's actually available to purchase, which would be pretty damn cool, if I say so. I always thought that'd be cool to have years actually done where you actually have every freaking movie that came out that you can get and or would want. But yeah, I've watched some really bad ones. I've watched some really good ones, and then a lot in the middle. And every time I watch one, I have my entire stack out. And every time I finish watching a movie from the year, I rank it into the stack where I think it belongs. So it will be my official, like, top whatever. Probably like 80, I'm guessing. It would be like a top 80 of the year. Unless I decide to go that extra mile and try to hit 100, but I don't think I will. That'd be a lot of money spent on. Let's be honest. A lot of the movies I'm missing are they're less like really unknown movies. So it's not it's not really worth it because they would probably all be in my bottom 50. I'm not missing anything that I would think could possibly make the top 50 of the year. So I'm probably just going to be good with what I have, finish watching it up, and get working on that. That way I can get back to just coming up with a new job to do because I enjoy this a lot. I love it. Yeah, I'm going to let you go. We'll talk to you in a couple days. Thank you for checking me out.